Hi everyone, my name is Monique.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And welcome to our winter vlog.
Yes, we made it. Winter is still a couple days more,
Yes.
So this is technically a winter vlog.
Yeah, I think we're fine.
We're fine. We have a couple weeks.
We were planning on doing a quarterly vlog, and I believe the last one that we did was a fall vlog, which seems like it was a long time ago now.
We've stretched it to the end of winter. That's
yes.
Fine.
So anyway, we're here, and that's all that matters. And so today, we're probably just going to be talking about things that we've been up to lately, and then we're going to do our year in review. So we try to do this at the start of the year, but one of the things that's been new with us is Naveen has been extremely busy with work.
Very busy with work, yes. I'm getting kind of slammed from both ends. Basically, we have a lot going on the channel, a lot my regular job, my 9 to 5. And so, yes, it's been very, very time crunchy on me, just trying to figure out how to get games played, understood, so that when it's time to come to film, I'm good to go and ready to go.
Yes. So for anybody who's unaware, I do this full time, but Naveen does not. He has a separate, pretty much full-time job. He actually has 2 of them.
Yep.
And so whenever it's sort of crunch time for him, which is sort of random, we can't really plan around when it's going to be really, really busy, then you'll see a lot less of the review type content on our channel because we just don't have that kind of time. We don't have the time for him to film. So anyway, that has been happening a little bit lately. Other than that, on the happier side, we've been learning Japanese.
We have. Even I have now.
Yeah, Naveen
Monique has been learning for over a year now?
For, I think, about a year.
About a year, right?
Yeah.
Since about like the late winter last year also.
Yeah, I started learning to prepare for our trip to Japan last year that we took with Amy and Maggie from Thinker Themer. And after we got back, I was just so... I enjoyed it so much, and just being able to speak a little bit of it while I was there, that I just decided to continue.
So I passively kind of picked some stuff up as Monique was listening to a lot of things audibly, like out loud. So then I was like, okay, fine, it's time for me to learn a little bit. So I have now officially been learning for 64 days.
Wow.
It is... I can't speak anything, though. If I could maybe recognize a couple things.
It's
though.
a lot, though.
Yeah. Maybe I know more than I think I do in the 64, but there's no way I can ask for directions.
Our dream, or my dream, I guess, is to go back to Japan, to go back to the Tokyo game market and be able to actually speak to people about their games. Because I don't know if we made it clear in our wrap-up video last year, but we were not able to speak to anybody.
No, yeah.
So
the people that could speak kind of broken English to us or a decent amount of English, those were easier. But if there's the complete language barrier, I mean, to describe mechanisms in a game is just almost, so you're going to have to learn for a little bit longer just to really understand that deeper kind of understanding of the language.
Yes. So that's the dream. We'll see if we end up getting there.
Yeah.
Other than that, Dexter turned 12 in January. So he's been 12 for a couple of months now. So he's on the older end.
Yeah.
But he's not actually here with us right now. He is at Naveen's parents' house.
Living his vacation house.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He is living his best life because we are actually going to be leaving on a trip. We are going to be attending Dice Tower West.
Yep.
So for anybody else who's going to be at Dice Tower West, we hope to see you there. And I think we're going to be on a panel on Saturday. So it's going to be regarding content creation. I believe it's a Q&A. So if anybody is interested in hearing about content creation, then just check the schedule to see where and when it is. And we're looking forward to going and playing some games. This also means, though, that we are not going to be attending AirCon with Watch It Play this year. So we talked at length about how difficult Naveen's work schedule has been. So it's prevented us from being able to go overseas.
Yeah, Vegas is just a drive away, but getting to AirCon is a little bit tough for me, scheduling-wise, because you basically lose a day going, coming back, you lose a day coming back, and then plus the time of the convention itself. So
it's an entire week.
It's a little bit more than a week that I have to take off from work, so it becomes a little tough for me. But going to Dice Tower West, I can just after work and then on Sunday night come back. So it's gonna be okay. Yep.
So we're sad about not being able to go to AirCon, but the rest of the Watch It Play team will be there. So for anybody who's attending, we hope you have a wonderful time. All right, moving on to our year in review. So we're just going to be talking about how many videos we did and stuff like that. It's all sort of statistics stuff.
We're talking about 2023, by the way, not this current year in review.
Right. Yep. But if you are not interested in hearing these numbers, then feel free to fast forward. So in 2023, we made a total of 123 videos.
Wow.
I don't remember what it was the year before. I know we talked about it, but I didn't check that. So I don't know.
Have to go back to that vlog.
I don't know what the what direction we've gone in here, but we did 123 videos total.
With no true goal set out every year to do like X amount of videos. We just, hey, look at how many we did.
We run the channel very much so, take everything as it comes. So we don't really have a projection for that kind of thing year to year. But last year we did 123.
Cool.
We covered a total of 48 crowdfunding campaigns.
Okay.
So that's not just Kickstarter, that is crowdfunding across all platforms. In addition, we filmed a total of 33 non-crowdfunding two-player playthroughs. So these are specifically games that are out in retail. We also did playthrough videos for crowdfunding campaigns, but these 33 videos are in addition to that.
Gotcha.
And outside of that, the rest of the videos were a few top 10s. We did a few how to play videos last year. We did quite a few of them, actually.
Yeah, you did like the Sky Team, Septima. Those are like the like true like official how to plays.
Yeah, we did Cosmoctopus, Snakes of Wrath. There were a few in there. We also did a few random vlogs. I did a handful of solo videos. We filmed 8 Let's Talk Board Games episodes, which is our multi-game format.
Rapid review kind of format where games that we just, obviously with 120 plus videos, we can't film a playthrough of all of them. So we find that even though we are playing other games, we want to talk about them. So that's kind of the format that we like to talk about multiple games at once.
That format, I would ideally like to do it once a month. So last year, I guess we missed that a little bit.
I think that would be nice to do that, once a month.
It would be nice, but even a video like that is very time consuming. So
the B-roll.
It's tough. Like you have to take pictures of every single game on top of the fact that you have to play all these games.
We have gotten better about, have gotten better about when we're playing it, take pictures then and then.
Yes, that's the key.
When we were first starting to do Let's Talk Board Games, we know we want to do some B-roll, so that you can link some of the imagery to what we're saying, but we were not doing it at the time. And then after filming it, then we would have to then reset up the game just to put some B-roll in there. That took a lot of time.
It's a lot of time.
That's a lot.
So anytime you see a video and you feel like, oh, I wish there could have been more B-roll. Oh, I wish we could have done it too.
Yeah, we know.
It just takes so much time.
It does.
So I would like to do them more often. We will see how much time we have for them. We also did a few videos on Watch It Played, including a live stream event that we went to Prince
Canada.
Edward Island for, right? That was
Canada.
last year?
Yep, last year.
Yeah. And of course, we finally wrapped up our Uwe Rosenberg series. So that was a really, really big one for us. In addition to the couple of Anachrony playthroughs that we did last year. Those were things that we were really wanting to finish in 2023.
Yeah.
In addition to these, we've also done content for our Patreon community. I actually don't have the numbers for that. But just so you know, we have been doing a My City live stream where we're playing through the entire game. It's not done yet.
Not done yet.
It's really hard because that is also time consuming. We have to find the time to schedule that. But that is something that is still ongoing.
And it has to be scheduled at an ideal time because we have a lot of people in the Patreon that are international.
Yes.
So we want to try to time it where it's like we're not asleep, but they're not asleep also
so they
at the
can
same
join.
time. Yeah.
So we can talk.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So we're doing those intermittently. We're going to try to get back to them after all this travel with Dice Tower West.
But those are really, really fun. We also do a few first impression vlogs, and we've been doing our BGG, our BGG Top 1000 podcast, which we are on the verge of finishing.
Almost.
So that is for Patreon. And speaking of them, by the way, there were a couple of questions from the Patreon community where they were asking us which videos did the best from 2023 and which ones did we have the most fun making. So that is one thing I do have. The video that did the best was our 10 games to start a collection. So the top 10s typically do really well, regardless of the channel. It's just people enjoy watching list format videos, I guess.
Yeah, I do too.
But what video did you have the most fun doing?
Most fun doing?
Or making?
So you kind of sprung this on me.
I did.
Well,
had no time
we did
to
talk
prepare.
about learning Japanese. So I will say that preparing and playing Let's Go to Japan. Now, we were sponsored to do a playthrough video for their crowdfunding campaign.
Yes.
So this is not any way reviewing it, but I had a lot of fun playing that one because we were on the verge of actually going to Japan about a month or two after that video was going to air. So doing that was kind of cool to have kind of my outside of board game content creation life mixing with my board gaming and helping me really understand like different activities that I could do for going to Japan. So
we definitely had a moment where we looked through all the cards and we're like, oh, should we check that out?
Yeah. As preparing for that, I was like, this seems cool. Like, looking at some of the card and activities that are on there. So we really did use that game to help us plan our trip to Japan.
And that's funny that you chose that, because as for me, this is a bit of a cheat. I'm cheating here because my favorite video to make was probably the stuff that we filmed while we were in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
So we took a trip to Japan with partially with Amy and Maggie from Thinker Themer, and just trying to film as much as I could over there, going to the Tokyo Game Market and trying to prepare for our post vlog after that was really fun. Because
and then you get to for the B-roll, you get to look back at the videos that we made, and so you're kind of sharing those fond memories, with other people. So
because
I could see that.
The thing about traveling with work in mind, specifically for content creation, is now, it's not all leisure when you go and travel that way. We have to visit things with the content in mind. So that did force us to look at the areas that we're visiting with a board gamer's perspective, I guess. Visiting board game stores, looking for stores that had secondhand board games, which was something that you really loved doing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Looking for hard to find Japanese trick takers and stuff like that, because they have their own world of games over there. It's really, really fun to explore. And visiting board game cafes and just seeing North American titles in Japanese.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
over there, and just seeing what kinds of games are they playing.
A lot of times the box art is repurposed for the Japanese market. And that was really cool. It's I've never seen this photography or this photo on this particular game. It's
they changed
interesting how they do that
for the Japanese market. So I had a really, really good time started preparing for that vlog. So anyway, that was 2023 in a nutshell. It was quite the year for us. We were very, very fortunate in a lot of ways. We were able to travel to Japan, which was a dream destination for me, at least, for a very long time. It was also my first full year doing content creation full-time, which has its own set of challenges, but I do feel very fortunate to be able to be in this position. Now, we didn't go to any conventions at all.
I did. I went to local conventions.
He did, but I missed out for the first time in a very, very long time. I missed out of going to our local convention twice.
Twice, yeah.
So
we didn't do Gen Con, missed PAX Unplugged, as well as Gamma trade shows. We did. We went to AirCon last year.
We went to AirCon.
So never mind. Actually, we did go to one pretty far from our home convention.
We did. I guess just for leisure, because we went with Watch It Played, and we did activities there and such. So this year, obviously we're going to Dice Tower West, and we're just going to see. We're going to see what we'll be able to make it out to.
We'd like to go to Gen Con or Essen. One of the two would be nice.
Yeah. I think the
don't
plan
know if we're going to be able to.
Is to try to go to one or the other.
One or the other, yeah.
So we will see what ends up being really expensive. That's usually how it goes, right? Other than that, 2023 was a little bit of a difficult year for us, sort of behind the scenes. And so because of that, we weren't able to play as many games as we would have liked. So that is something that I would like to change for this year. I would like to just be able to play more board games. There are a lot of games that came out in 2023 that we still haven't played.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking of the upcoming year, shall we talk about 2024?
Sure, okay.
Now, this year has started a little bit on the slower end for us because of a lot of things that we've already mentioned.
Yep.
But sort of moving forward, of course, we're going to be continuing the same types of content. The playthroughs are not going away. We're still going to be doing how to plays because since the inception of the channel, we've always been sort of a teaching forward channel. That is the whole reason why we exist, especially nowadays.
So we narrate all our moves, and when we do a playthrough, and people, we get some comments like, "Do you really play like that? Do you always name everything you do?" It's I don't know.
We do half.
Maybe, yeah.
We don't explain I'm doing this because when you do this, blah, blah. We don't explain the rules, to each other as we're playing.
Giving away my master plan. I would really like that white resource because it's the last one there. Hopefully it's there when it's my turn, We
do that for you.
We do that for exactly.
In addition, we will continue to cover crowdfunding campaigns. In an ideal world, we would cover only retail games. But unfortunately, that's just not how it works.
Not the dynamic of the industry.
It's not the dynamic of the industry. These companies need the most amount of help when they're going to crowdfunding because a lot of these companies need crowdfunding in order for the game to be a reality. And unfortunately, for content creation, that is where a majority of the opportunities to be able to teach these games exist. So once or twice a year, we do like to give our our disclosures, though, regarding how we approach crowdfunding. So whenever we cover crowdfunding campaigns, it's always going to be in the form of either a tutorial/overview, which I am pretty much going to be only doing.
Yeah,
we made that change last year.
Noticed it on the channel. The how to play stuff is primarily just Monique, because I can be at my day job while Monique is working on that while I'm not here.
Right. And in addition to that, we also just do 2-player playthroughs. And this is all for the purpose of you being able to see what the game is going to be about before you decide to back it.
Yeah, so you can understand the rule set, how the player interaction is, how much tension there is in a game, you know, what are the conflicts, what are the parts that you like about a game, what you don't like about a game. So we like to basically showcase it and allow you as the viewer to kind of make your decision.
Yeah.
Where we're not trying to influence anything.
Yes, we try our best. And so that also means we don't do any reviews for crowdfunding campaigns. Anytime we put out any review content, it's only for games that are either out in retail or soon to be released.
Now, there is a little exception with that, sometimes with the Lacerda games, because we are very big fans of his games.
Yeah,
and most of his prototypes, when they go to Kickstarter or crowdfunding, are very close to like the final product. So we do review essentially with a caveat, and we kind of announce that during those videos, like, based off this prototype, this is how we feel.
And on that note, we also don't do paid reviews. So all reviews are non-sponsored, and we try to give our disclosures as much as possible in the videos. So then let's talk about the fun stuff.
Okay.
So we mentioned that we wrapped up the Uwe Rosenberg series last year, and I believe that was what? Is it our third?
That was
designer?
the third one. Yeah, we did the Vitalis Lacerda series. We did Alexander Pfister, then we did Uwe Rosenberg.
Yes, that's right. And if you are not familiar with what we're talking about, we basically played through all of the games, as many of the games that we could, from each of these designers in chronological order of release. And then we sort of just discussed, we tried to discuss as we play the games, these sort of the commonalities or how their trajectory changed in terms of design.
Yeah, like what they picked up from their previous designs, what kind of influences they had from, you know, other games that came out as their predecessors, and how they kind of changed or kind of enhanced their design style over the course of the years.
Yeah, we tried to approach these designer series with a deep dive in mind. And so we are going to be embarking on a fourth one soon. Would you care to say who?
Sure. Okay. So we have covered this individual's games on the channel before, and it is none other than Vladimir Suchy.
Yes.
So we've covered, I believe, Last Will, which is a very old video on the channel when I had no confidence on camera to talk. So if you want to just laugh at me, go ahead and find that video. Sort by oldest. We've also covered Praga Caput Regni, which was one that we both enjoyed.
Recent.
And so we've found that we wanted to do a designer series for somebody that we know that we like a couple of their games so far. Some of the games we have not played yet, which is kind of exciting to kind of discover. But also we wanted it to be a designer that did not have 20 plus games that we had to cover.
Yeah, I almost debated Rainer Knizia.
No.
We wouldn't have done, obviously, we wouldn't have done every game. It would have been like the top hits, according to us, I guess. But a lot of Rainer Knizia's games play best at higher player counts.
Yeah, so with Vladimir Suchy, I think there's about 10 or 11 games out there, which seems like, okay, if we can get one done, you know, every so often, then it's going to go at a nice, smooth pace, ideally.
Yeah.
The Uwe Rosenberg series, as we were doing the Uwe Rosenberg series, more games were coming out by him.
Yeah.
And so we were just like constantly trying to
because
crawl.
we did big box and we did the tiling games. So we
yeah.
covered a ton of games that were a part of that series. And
had a lot of fun doing it, but the next one we knew we wanted it to be something that was more manageable.
Yes.
And so I thought, or we both thought, that this would be a great designer to feature on the channel.
Yeah, so the main reasons for Vladimir Suchy, and one of the reasons you didn't mention is because he was one of the ones that were requested the most. Just across, anytime we mentioned the next designer series, or even people who have been reaching out to us asking who the next one was going to be, Vladimir Suchy's name kept appearing over and over again.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that there are a lot of games that we haven't played yet that are sort of newish. That we have both been really, really wanting to play.
Yeah, we still have not played Woodcraft. We do own it. And then what's the other one? Evacuation. That's the other one that I've at the local convention, somebody was playing it, and it looks cool on the table. I've heard lots of people say very high kind of ratings of it, and they really enjoy it. So that's one that I'm also looking forward to. And now, that's one of the newer ones, so it's going to take a while before we actually get to it.
But you've been wanting to also revisit Pulsar.
Yeah, Pulsar. I did not like it the first time I played it. A little spoiler, but some rules were taught wrong. It just kind of threw things off for me. So
The balance.
I am excited to go back and playing that because I do like dice game and dice drafting.
Dice
games.
drafting, yeah.
And that is one of those ones. So we have a handful of them. We are gonna start this series probably in the coming weeks.
Yeah, well, wait, hold on. Hold on. Not
weeks?
yet. So I was
Yeah.
going to say, in terms of timing, right now we are in our gathering phase. So
Yes.
we had the gathering phase every single time we did one of these because we don't own these games. I believe we only own like 3 of them. And so the rest of
3 or
them we
4,
either
yeah.
have to borrow from friends. Like Underwater Cities is another one that
Yeah.
we've never played before.
Never played, yeah.
So we're going to have to borrow a copy. We don't quite know how we're going to borrow some of these games yet.
By the way, the
But-
games we have covered on the channel, we are not going to go and revisit them and do
Yeah,
another
probably
playthrough
not.
of. We'll just probably reference them. And then when we eventually create the playlist on the channel for the designer, we'll just add them in at the appropriate spots.
Yes. So the very first game in that series is, I believe, Shipyard.
Shipyard.
Which has a second edition. And we actually own the original.
I own the original one. I think, or we own it. It's like from the late 2000s, I want to say. I opened up the box recently and there are just so many chits in there. So we're thinking maybe we're going to try to get the second edition. Hopefully it's a little bit
That's the goal.
neater. And then we're going to use that one as the first video because it's technically the first game that was designed. But I don't know the comparison and contrast. Like what's the difference between the first and second?
Yeah,
So
we don't have the second edition.
figure that out.
And if we cannot get a hold of it, then we will just film it with the original. So stay tuned for that.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be in a couple of weeks. I think we definitely want to finish out that second playthrough of Tricarion first.
That's true.
So
We did
that is
wanna do
happening
that.
first. And that will probably be in a couple of weeks. And then after that,
Then we can start.
then we can start the
Okay,
Suki
that
series.
sounds good.
But I don't want to make any promises as to exactly when it'll start quite yet.
We're still gathering.
Because
You're right.
we're still gathering. So otherwise, I think a lot later in the year, we are also considering revisiting our top 50 games of all time. Now, we did that series like
It'll be 3 years if we do it at the end of the year.
it'll be 3 years. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
about right because a lot of games sort of came in and out of rotation.
I
since then.
definitely have some games that I've learned and played since then that would definitely be in the top 20 of that list
Yes.
that I can think of.
We are
which I'll
going
look for.
to do our best.
We will.
We actually wanted to do it last year, but my goodness, that also takes so much time.
A lot of time, yeah.
There's just not enough time. That is a running theme of the video,
Yeah.
but we will do our best.
It's a leap
and-
year. We have an extra day.
We
so
do.
We are going to do it this year.
But it's already passed.
But,
We've
you know, just-
squandered
just
the day.
Put it on to the other, it's
So-
like December 32nd now,
Anywho, we are going to do our best because that is all we can do. And I believe that is it for now. So again, if you're going to be at Dice Tower West, we hope to see you there. And we also just hope you have a wonderful time in general. And as usual, please let us know what games you've been playing and if you have any recommendations for us.
Well, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you all so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more board game content on the channel, feel free to subscribe. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.